Greetings my friends, welcome to Sew Yani Knit and Crochet. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for looking at my work. I'm very grateful for your support and your kindness. For today's pattern, of which is called the Tunisian rib stitch pattern, I'm using 4mm crochet size hook and the Tunisian crochet hook, not the normal crochet, but the Tunisian crochet, which is longer to accommodate more number of stitches. And I'm using medium size yarn. So for this Tunisian crochet rib stitch pattern, we are required to cast on an even number of chains. For example, 10, 12, and so on. So once you have made your slip knot, insert your Tunisian crochet into the slip knot and start working on the chains. So once you have made an even number of chains, I have made 12 chains. We are going to start working on the foundation row, and we are now going to draw up loops by inserting our crochet into the top loops of our pattern. Draw up loops until you are done with your row. So we are going to continue this until we are done with the row. I'm going to pause the video and draw up the loops until I get to the end of the row. So once I'm done, I'll meet you there. So once we are done with drawing up the loops, we are now going to take them out. If I may use that word, we are going to take them back. So now we are going to start working on the first loop here, and we are only going to chain one on the first loop only. And then we'll start drawing out the loops in twos. Like so. Draw out the loops in twos until you have completed your row. And then on the next row, I'm going to show you how we are going to crochet the rib stitch pattern. Okay, so I've completed my row, and now I'm going to show you how we are going to work the rib stitch pattern. And this is the repeat pattern we are going to carry on for the rest of our project. So we are going to insert our crochet into this first loop here, and then we are going to draw one more loop. We are going to add a loop into our crochet here, and then instead of inserting our crochet like this, we are going to insert it from the back, like so. Insert your crochet from the back. Once the loop is on the hook, flip your crochet so that you're able to grab some yarn and then draw up another loop. Next, we are going to draw up a loop normally, just the way normal day we do it, like that. And then on the next, we are going to insert our crochet from the front of the single loop. You need to use a bigger size crochet so that you're able to draw up the loops easily. So basically, we are alternating those two patterns, drawing up the loop normally, like most patterns, Tunisian patterns are. And then we are going to insert from the back, like that. Twist your crochet so that you're able to fetch some yarn. And it's as easy as that. Basically alternating those two designs I've just explained. And then when you get to the end, we are going to work into these two loops here. Insert your crochet and draw up some yarn by inserting your crochet into the two loops at the end. And then we are going to have one loop there. So to continue with the next row, in which we'll be drawing out the loops, chain one only on the first loop, and then draw out the loops in twos and continue with the pattern like I've explained. So once you have drawn out the patterns, we are going to repeat this pattern where we had to insert our crochet into the loops in two different ways. So when you are doing the Tunisian patterns, we are advised to use a bigger crochet size hook than we normally would use to avoid curling, to avoid the pattern from curling at the bottom. So once you have drawn out the loops, now you're going to repeat this pattern I showed you earlier. Insert your crochet into the second loop from the hook, like so, and then insert the next, on the next loop, insert it from the back, and then twist your crochet in a way you're able to fetch the yarn. And that is it. Continue with the pattern. Once you have gotten to the end, remember to work into both loops at the end, and then chain one, draw out the loops, and repeat the pattern. So now I'm going to show you the same pattern, only that I've done more loops and more rows rather. So once you have completed the row, this is how your pattern should look like. Once you have done more rows, this is how the pattern should look like. This is the front part of the pattern, and this is the back part of the pattern. It's irreversible. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much once again for subscribing to my channel. Happy crocheting!